Yeah. Y'all come on. Y'all come on. Yeah. Y'all know what time it is once y'all hear that beat. Come on. 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 All right, y'all. All right. What is up, everyone? Hey, y'all. It is your favorite Kentucky boy, Reverend James H. Glover III of After Show Vibes. I'm here with my family up in the building. I got my girl Tweet Talks and my girl Cheryl Renee. What is up, y'all?
Hey,
What is
All
up,
right.
everybody?
All right. So, Cheryl, I'm going to let you start and then we'll go on over.
what is up? What is up? What is up? In the words of Reverend James H. Glover III. But nah, hey y'all, it's your favorite Jersey girl, Shira Renee, the host of the Blemish Beauty Podcast, and I am ready to catch a vibe with y'all tonight. So let's get into this conversation.
Yeah. All right, Tweet, it's on you.
What's up, everybody? It is Tweet from Tweet Talks Podcast, available on Spotify, iHeart, and Google Podcasts. So what's up? Let's get it going tonight.
All right. So, y'all, we have a great conversation for y'all tonight entitled How Early is Too Early. Last week, we have been talking about, last few episodes really, about being how long it takes to know that the person is the one for you and how you know the person is the one. Like, how long you should wait before getting proposed to and all of that. So I'm gonna let my sisters kick it off and then I'll go from there. So I'm gonna let you start it off since you the first one on.
Okay, well, I think it depends on the couple, to be honest. I mean, the Bible says God's timing is not our timing. So, what may look early to us is it could be just the way God designed it to be. So, it depends on the couple and what they already have established prior to getting together. If you have things set in stone already, it'll be easier for you to expedite the process. But if you don't, then it wouldn't be wise for you to jump into something without being prepared for it. That's just my opinion.
Okay, Tweet, it's on you.
So when it comes to how early it should be, I think it not just like Shiva Renee said, it does depend on the couple. However, I think it depends on how well you know each other, because sometimes people can be in a relationship, they've been friends for a very long time, and they've gotten to know each other through ups and downs. And when they decide that they're going to be in a relationship, they already have a lot of history. So if they have a lot of history, they're not just going into a relationship as a regular couple, meeting each other, then courting and getting together. They have a friendship. They've gone through ups and downs, and they kind of know each other's background. They may know each other's family or anything. So I think it's super dope, and I think it's the best thing to start off as friends. Y'all vibe with each other, get to know each other, get to know you know the good and the bad and all that other stuff. So
For me, I agree that it depends on the couple because what's good for one may not be good for the other. For me, like I've said it before on here and I'll say it again. It doesn't, if a man, and I said a grown man, if he knows what he wants and he is not playing any games, it's not going to take him 20 years to propose to you. He is going to
so
know off jump. He's going to know off jump if you are somebody that he wants to spend a future with or build a future with.
So let me ask you a question, right? I'm gonna ask James. I'm gonna ask you, Renee. We're gonna turn this up a notch because that's what Tweet does. Okay. So listen to this. If you are in a relationship, right? You're in a relationship with a woman, and you ask her to marry you prematurely, what most will be considered prematurely, and she says no. Is that a deal breaker for any proposals coming forward, or is that just a deal breaker for the moment? What's up? Y'all quiet tonight.
Oh, man. For me,
Turn it up.
I would say that it is deal breaker in the beginning because of the simple fact of if I don't propose to you once, Why are you saying no? You got to have a reasonable explanation. You got to have a reason why you're saying no. Like, there's got to be a
But
reason.
what if she doesn't have like she's not able to give you actual reason, but she's just feeling a vibe? Because us women, we have intuitions with men and with women. So what happens if she's saying, she's like, babe, you know what, it's just not right now. Is that a good enough reason?
Not for me. Not for me. For me, it is a thing of, because if I'm proposing to you, that means that we've already done had a conversation about marriage. Because I'm not going to just propose to you out the whim. We've already had that conversation of knowing that's what we're leading
But
towards.
I mean, well, okay.
So it's like, if we done had this conversation, and when I get down on one knee and I done asked you to marry me, and your answer is no, bet we can cut our losses, because I'm not gonna sit there and do it 3 or 4 more times just for you to say no 3 or 4 more times. So now I'm good. What about you, sir?
So that actually happened to me. I was proposed to, and I said no because the relationship wasn't good at the time, right? So what I did was I said no on the strength of that. And we had a conversation afterwards to explain why I said no. So I don't know if the conversation made it okay for him to try again, but he tried again months later. And then at that time, the timing was right. And then I said yes. So in that regards, I think I agree with James. You should have a conversation prior to kind of know where you guys are going. And then once you have that conversation, you should already know the right time. And so you won't get that no because you've had that conversation prior.
Right, right. I mean, for me, it just goes back to communication is key. Like, with anything, even in business, like, communication is key. Like, if you are in a business partnership, and like, this doesn't even go only for relationships, this goes for business, friendships, and everything. If you are doing business with somebody and you tell them this needs to be done in order for us to build our brand, in order for us to be successful, and they constantly, more than once, do what they want to do, then at that moment, you're looking at them like, why am I even still fooling with you? Because of the simple fact of, you have showed to me that what we are building, what we are doing, don't mean nothing to you. So if it don't mean nothing to you, you go your way, I'm gonna go mine. You cut your losses, and we can keep it moving. In the words of my boy King George, one monkey don't start no show, don't stop no show. So we're gonna keep on growing. We're gonna keep on grinding, and we're gonna keep on going higher. That goes in relationships, business, every aspect of it. It goes with it.
That's interesting, but I think that I think business and relationships is different because I mean I think communication is needed. In a relationship, you have to be wholeheartedly who you are. Same thing in business, but I think there's a difference. When you're in a relationship, you communicate personally, right? You talk about your intimate feelings, the do's and don'ts of that relationship. Business has limitations, right? I think that sometimes people get that confused because in a business is just that business. And you know how they say don't mix business with pleasure? I agree with that. I think that's a big deal. That sometimes people want more of a personal side to you in a business relationship, and it may not warrant for that. And then some people, some people can't accept that. Now, when it comes to a relationship, yes, you have to be personal, you have to be open, you have to communicate, you have to talk about how you're feeling, and you have to be genuine about who you are. Business is different, it's just that business.
I would agree
So,
with that, but I also think that you got to start how you want to finish in both. So if you started off one way, you got to be that way at all times. You can't start it off one way and then switch it up.
That's
so let
true.
me ask you a
Like,
question, James, because you said men, when they know, right?
Hmm.
So say you are in a relationship
Hmm.
and you know that this woman that you're with is the one you're going to marry. Um, at what part of the relationship do you let her know? Do you have the conversation? Because last week you said, I think you said about 4 dates. You'll know if if she's the one that you would marry. So, at what part of the relationship do you have that conversation leading up to engagement?
The conversation will be had of I'm already coming to the table, letting her know that yo, I'm not here playing games. As soon as we have the conversation of us being official and like being an official couple, I'm telling her, yo, I'm dating to marry. I'm not dating just to be a boyfriend for 15 to 20 years. I'm dating to marry. So let's start building towards that right now. If that's what you want, let's build towards that now. Let's start saving our money. Let's start building up what we need to build up so that we can be at that level that we need to be on.
Okay. So let's get into some of these comments. First, let's say, hey, y'all. I see y'all all blowing up the comment section. We appreciate you guys. And let's see. Okay, Globe says, I agree with Shira. I think it definitely depends on the progress of inner work of both individuals, too. Um, Charlie says, if I'm proposing, I'm ready. Black Mamba says, some people feel like if they ask you to get married, that will fix the issues in the relationship. I agree with that one because people feel like marriage and babies will fix the relationship. And to be
Hmm.
honest, both situations they heighten the relationship. So wherever you are, if you're in a good place, that will only heighten it. If you're in a bad place, that will only heighten it because you don't understand when you have a baby, now your attention and stuff gets divided because now you have to share that attention with a little one. When you get married, certain things have to shift because now you guys are married. It's not like you're dating all over again. So you have to have certain parameters set in place. So I definitely agree with that one. Charlie says marriage should be a level up and not a cover up.
I agree
Ashley
with that one.
says closed mouths don't get fed. Minister Glove is right. Communication is very important. Charlie says, so does communication have limitations?
For
Somebody want to
me,
tackle that?
communication. This. Oh, go on ahead. We go on ahead.
I think that communication does have limitations based on the relationship. If you are like James, you said that when you're dating to marry. I think you have to have very strong communication. But then the reality of it is when you're dealing with somebody that is not going to openly communicate with you, somebody has to open up and say, "What's up? Let's have a conversation about it." Some things have to be initiated rather than assumed. Conversation is needed, and then sometimes things just don't, they just don't work out. You have to just understand, okay, you know what, this is what it is right now, and it may not be what it'll always be, and learn to accept that. That's why it's important to have communication from the beginning and for everybody to be honest about what they want. Because sometimes you can date someone and be in a relationship or of any type, and this other person says, listen, I want to get married, I want to have a house on the hill, I want to have 7 dogs, and I want a pet rat. Okay, you might get into the situation and say, okay, yeah, I want to get married, I want a house, and I want a dog, and I want a pet rat. So we got 6 other dogs that we questioning. Does that mean that there's a problem because you want a little bit less than what they desire? No, you negotiated. You negotiate it and you have communication. But that means all parties need to communicate, not just one, two, or three. That means that it should be one party communicating with another to ultimately meet a goal. And I think that's the problem nowadays. People don't communicate. They got tunnel vision, you know? Tunnel vision can sometimes equal selfishness in a relationship, any type of relationship.
I would agree with that. So does communication has limitations? No, you have to communicate in order to be successful. I believe Ashley said it best: closed mouths don't get fed. You have to communicate in order to be successful. So it's like, I'll use this as an example. Like, if you're wanting to get married, right? And you've been dating this woman for some months, and you tell her, yo, babe, I'm finally ready to get married, but y'all haven't had no communication about it beforehand. Y'all have had no conversation about it beforehand. She's looking at you as if she didn't have any idea about this because she has some things in her life that she wants to get in order before she gets married. Now, if y'all would have had that communication beforehand, then yo, this conversation could have been avoided. That man could have helped you get what you are needing in order to be at the level that you need to be at. But sometimes, a lot of times, I'll be honest, we only see what we want and not see that, yo, what we want isn't always best for us. We just see the shiny, sparkly thing and we want it. But what we fail to realize is you got to work for what you want. So if this marriage is what you want, you got to work for it. Anything worth having is worth working for. You got to have that open communication, even when it's hard. Because trust and believe me, every conversation is not going to be an easy conversation. You got to break down and have these hard conversations so that both of you can know, like, yo, we on the same page on this. Ain't no breaking this up. We on the same page on this.
So that ties into this comment right here. It's called, "Are you ready to be truly vulnerable in a relationship?"
Fact.
And then Ashley Cole agrees with you and says you have to show all sides of you to that person that you will end up marrying.
Yeah.
Black Mamba, I think it is relative to the situation. And Charlie says, on the real, it should take a man 6 months to a year to make that decision. Also, the impact y'all have on each other should let you know it's time to lock it down. I think communication has limitations. You have to be open with that person. Black Mamba, y'all coming in with the comments. I love it.
Mhm.
Yes, folks yes, folks feel like they can hide sides of them that a person will have to accept if they are married. That's true. The some people keep their representative in front until they get married. That's true. Charlie is laughing at you tweet. He said not a pet rat. And
Yes, the
then
rat bringing all the cheese to everybody.
Mhm.
and then Ashley says, my daughter asks, what happens when you don't know how to communicate with that person?
That's when, in my opinion, that's when y'all sit down and you tell her, or you tell them how you're feeling. You ask them, what are you doing that is making it hard for them to let their walls down with you? Or that comment said, what do you do when it's hard for you to communicate with that person? That's when you pray. That's when
You
you
don't
gotta
know
pray.
how.
That's when you gotta pray and ask God, God, give me the words to say to where that what I'm saying does not come off being vindictive or being evil. Because, and you got to let them know off jump, yo, what I'm saying is not to be mean to you, it's not to be evil to you, it's not to start no drama with you. It is to let you know that, yo, what you doing is hurting me. So since what you're doing is hurting me, I need to let you know that, yo, I don't like it, and I need some help in this area, and I need you to know that, yo, I need you to step it up in this area for me.
Charlie says that means it has to be worked on. If not, then you're not meant to be. Black Mamba said you don't get married and you work on learning them and their communication style. I guess that's in regards to Ashley's question, her daughter's question. When you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to communicate, you don't get married and you work on learning them and their communication style. You can also incorporate a third party as well. That's life coaches, therapists. Um, a lot of people talk about premarital counseling, but they don't talk about the premarital counseling. Some people actually go to counseling to see if they should get married before they even propose. So that could be something that you can do as well. You can incorporate a third party to kind of figure out why you're having a communication issue. I know for me, with my last situation, it was very, very hard for me to talk to my ex. He didn't provide that safe space. And that was one of the key indicators that I knew he wasn't really, we weren't equally yoked. Shout out to Real Talk Monday. That's how
I
I knew
like
we
that. I like
wasn't
how you
we
did that
wasn't
there. I like how you did that there.
because he didn't make the space safe enough for me to communicate with him. So that's definitely a key indicator.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. I mean, tweet.
I mean, I totally agree with what she said about communicating, but I think that, in all reality, people have different stages in life. The person that you meet, that you're dating, and the person that you marry may not be the same way, and they may not feel the same. You may feel like I don't feel the same way, but that other person doesn't feel the same way also. So when you communicate with a person, you can communicate all you want. Life changes people. Situations change people. You may not feel the same way that you felt about somebody 4 or 5 years, and the reality of it is marriage. That's exactly what it is. It's through thick and thin, through all the different changes that will happen in you. So I think it should be taken really seriously. I think somebody said something about 6 months to a year. Me personally, premarital counseling, I've actually been through that. Anybody that has the opportunity to experience that, it's an awesome thing because you learn a lot about yourself, and the other person learns about their self through watching, almost like a mirror. You guys looking at this mirror and saying, okay, look at us, look how we seem, look how other people see us. Especially when you're going through premarital counseling and the other person on the other side is looking at y'all like, how long y'all been together? What y'all trying to do? I mean, that's what happens. And you realize how crazy you look. Everybody, everybody needs to have that mirror image, that trusted image of a person in their life that's going to keep it real with them and tell them, listen, you ain't right. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And they have to be held accountable. Only then can they say, okay, you know what? I'm ready to be accountable for my actions, and I'm going to make changes towards it, and we can move further in this relationship and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to be better for you. I'm going to be better for myself. People nowadays don't do that. They want to run along with unaccountability and leeching on somebody else's brainwave or whoever they're with to make themselves look good based on somebody else they're in a relationship with. It don't work like that. You got to be your own person, stand on your own forefront and be accountable for your own actions and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make changes in my life for you or for us and make movement.
You know what? When you said that, that reminds me of, like, you know how when you're with somebody, whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship, and y'all are sitting there, y'all eating, or y'all at a party or something like that, and you got something in your teeth or you got something in your nose or whatever the case may be, and that person, you have people that'll either tell you, oh, you got some in your nose, or let me help you get that out there. Or you have people that just let you just do whatever. That's a key indicator too. Like sometimes we be with people that don't really have our back for real. And we'll sit around and that's kind of, it's a metaphor, but I'm saying, like, that's how you look walking around with this person. You look like, okay, well, I got this hanging in my nose or this person hanging on my arm, and nobody, they're not saying anything to you. They don't have your back. And that's how you look on, to other people, like, dang, she got this loser or he got this loser, and this ain't a good look. But nobody tells you. But do y'all
So
think
let me give
it's
y'all this example.
okay?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So just exactly what Shira Renee said. I remember, when I was in high school, I had a girl group that I hung out with, and we super shout out to those that are watching. We've known each other for a long time. And one of the things that we paid attention to, because I'm a plus size female, and I hung out with other women that some of us were plus size, some of us wasn't. But one of the things that we paid specific attention to is when we used to go hang out in the clubs. Um, if I got ready to go get dressed and my outfit didn't look right, I'm paying attention who's telling me. I'm paying attention to tell who's telling me, no, that outfit is too small. No, that outfit is too, it doesn't fit your complexion. No, you got lipstick on your face. I'm paying attention to those that's going to keep it real with me and let me know and communicate the issue, or let me know that I'm not right. Because those are the ones that you carry along the way. Those are the ones that I still have friends in my life from high school, because I remember the days when we was getting ready to go out, to we used to go back then we used to go out to the reggae clubs. We used to go out to these clubs, and whoever didn't tell me that I was right and I went to that bathroom mirror, okay? I said I'll be back, and I went to that bathroom mirror 10 minutes after I got there to make sure that my lipstick was okay and I was looking good. I was paying attention to the ones that was around and didn't say anything to me, that knew that I was looking a hot mess. Same thing with a relationship. First of all, you have to be able to have accountability for yourself and be able to accept constructive criticism, then be willing to change. So you pay attention to those things.
So let me ask you a question in regards to that. Should you were talking about friends, but in a romantic relationship, do you feel the need to set up situations like that to test them, your spouse, like to see if they really got your back for real? And if so, like
Um,
what kind of test would you do?
I wouldn't say it's a test where I would set it up, because my time is valuable and I'm not wasting time. If I have to set you up with something, my mind is already telling me that it ain't right. Now I will watch how you deal with me. You know, like I said, we have discernment. We have discernment, men and women. Biblically, it says in the Bible, the Lord gives us, I can't think of the actual quote, but I'll come back to y'all and drop it in the comments when I get it. But we have discernment. We have certain ways of learning. James, you tired? We have certain
He always
ways
do that.
of we have certain ways of knowing things, paying attention to things. And when that discernment starts to tap in, then you have to pay more attention to your surroundings. You have to pay more attention to the person you're in a relationship with. So I wouldn't say I would set it up, but I would pay close attention. And you have to tap into that discernment. God gave it to us for a reason. So I wouldn't do like an actual setup, but I would pay attention to how this person deals with me in different situations.
So let me just recap for Jasmine because she's so late. The topic is how early is too early, and that is in regards to anything, Jasmine, anything relationship wise. How early is too early to be exclusive? How early is too early to um, get engaged? How early is it too early to be married, propose, all the things, right? There's a couple of comments in here. I don't want to miss them because everybody's blowing it up tonight, and we appreciate y'all. Um, Charlie says, real question. Do you judge the person that asked the question, or you try to understand why the question was asked?
What
Is that in
just in
regards to
general,
proposing,
the
or
show
what
or what?
yeah, what elaborate a little bit on that one, and then I'll take the next one. Ashley says the right person will pray for you, motivate you, encourage you, will not sugarcoat the truth with you. He or she will be your biggest cheerleader. Charlie said they might have been hating on you, tweet, if the outfit looked better on you, girl.
Absolutely. You got to pay attention. Now, do you
Jazz,
discard them? No, you don't. You don't discard them. You just pay attention and put, everybody has a place in your life. Like I teach my son. Every friend does not have the same role. Some you're going to have a conversation with in your relationships. I personally don't believe that your relationship, he has to be your only friend, your best friend. There's a role for him. He may be your best friend, but not your only friend.
Jasmine said, I think it's individualized now. It's not ideal to hop into marriage, but then but men just know when they want to marry. Yeah, we said that in the beginning of the episode. So you got to be here on people time, Jasmine. Well, we love you, Jazz. So, James, come on. I know you got a scenario. What's up?
All right. So I got a scenario for y'all.
Really quick,
Go on.
James, I want to ask Jasmine a question about. She said something about men just know when they want to be married. And we was talking earlier about the 6 months. When a man is, as a woman, and this is for all the women that are watching, she Renee also. When a man is ready to marry, what is the job? What is the woman's job in that? What is the woman's role when a man is ready to marry? What is his role? So y'all tap in now in the comments.
Wait, I had blah moments. Elaborate again. Say it again.
So she said in the comments, she said, I think it's individuals. Now it's not ideal to hop into marriage, but men just know when they want to marry. So as a woman, if a man wants to marry you and he tells you this is what he wants to do, he's showing you this is what he wants to do. As us women, what is our role in that? I would give an example, but I'm not gonna give an example because I want people to just give their comments on it, because this is a blind moment for me. So I want to know, as women, I know my response would be, but I'm interested in knowing what the women would say.
Me personally, once that's told to me, my next question is, what does the time frame look like? Because we would have to, because I'm analytical and I always have a plan. So I like to know, from A to Z what's going on. So with that be it the case, I would want to know, what does that time frame look like? Say you tell me 4 years or 2 years. I'm gonna break it down from where we are to that time frame and what we should establish between that time, and start checking off the boxes. Me individual, that's collectively now. But me individually, I'll continue to be who I am, because at this point, what I'm doing is obviously working if he wants to marry me. And, just try to continue to get my ducks in a row so I can get us to, well, my end anyway, get us to that finish line.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I think sometimes women feel like, oh, he wants to marry me, let's get married. Because as us women, that's what we desire. We desire marriage. We taught from really young. But I think sometimes society has gotten to a point where if a man wants to marry you, it's like, okay, let's do it. I've been in a situation before, and if I feel like it's not right, I'm like, no. But a lot of women you see do it. They're like, okay, he wants to get married, let's get married, let's jump into it. Now 6 months to a year later, it's like, why? What's the movie? Why did I get married? You know what I mean?
Ooh,
So it's like,
child, yeah. I
yeah,
can
it's like we
relate.
experience it because that's what we want naturally, and we look back and we like, because society makes us believe that when you're married, you are a good woman, you are beautiful, you are marriage material. Well, there's some that of us that are marriage material and just are not married yet. You know.
And then another thing is too, what I've learned in my previous experiences, and then touching on to what you said, you could be marriage material, but you are not that person's forever. So, granted, you can walk in the role of a wife, you can walk in the role of a husband, and what that means is you just exude those characteristics, right? But say me and James are in a relationship. James want to get married. I have to, after that conversation, I have to go and pray to God to ask, is this my husband? You know what I'm saying? Because James can be a husband, but he might not necessarily be my husband. He might be Tweet's husband. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times when we hear that, when we get gung ho, we let the flesh lead, because we desire, like you said, women, we've been out the womb, we think about marriage. So we automatically want to run to the altar, but that's not always the case. When then we think about where we are right now versus where we're trying to be, and the people that we're right now, or the people that we're with at this time, does not align with who we're going to become later on. And that's a whole nother situation. So that's where all of that counseling and all that stuff come into play so people can actually see on the outside looking in. Okay.
So go to Charlie's comment because I want to talk about that.
Which
He
one?
said, to be
Fine.
honest, if
Okay,
he's
okay,
not,
okay, okay.
he's
Wait,
not
let me
financially
do the
stable.
one before. Let me do the one before real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
My ex-fiance was ready to get married, but he was looking for the woman I was when we dated years before. He wasn't ready for the woman I was, and eventually the wedding was called off. That's good.
Girl,
That's
that is
good.
good. And that is,
And you
that's,
know
I've
what?
experienced that before.
People don't understand that you evolve as a person. And that's why you cannot fall for the tangible things. If I got a nice body and we met when I was 16, of course I'm going to have a nice body at 16 because gravity ain't hit me yet. Children ain't come out my, you know what. So, of course, my body is going to be, Coke bottle. But when I turn into a 2 liter after I done popped out some of your kids, you still have to be with that person. And a lot of people don't understand that people evolve. Okay, so now, okay. So to be honest, if he is not financially stable, he will be scared to ask. So how do you feel about that, Jameson?
If he isn't financially stable, he's scared to ask. It depends on the type of situation that the woman has put him in. If the woman is a money hungry woman that has shown him that all she is after is his money, then yeah, he's gonna feel that way. Because let's keep it honest and let's keep it real. Men have been brought up from an early age and taught that we are to be the providers, the protectors, and take care of the house. If we don't do that, then we are failing as a man. But here's my thing, something I want to piggyback off of that you said earlier, Sheila, where you just said that just because you are a wife don't mean that you are his wife. We have to take it back to biblical times and remember that David, I said this on, we'll talk about it on Monday. David was anointed to be the king. And after he was anointed, he had to go back and tend to his father's sheep. So what that means is, yes, he was anointed to be the king at an early age, but after he was anointed to be the king, he had some giants he had to slay. He had some business he had to take care of. He had some things that he had to take care of to get him to that ultimate point. A lot of times, what we mess up is we are anointed to be somebody's husband. We are anointed to be this person's husband. We are anointed to be this person's wife. And just because God has given us the green light on it, we want to run over there and run into that relationship, failing to realize that yes, God has said this is your wife. Yes, God has said this is your husband. But before y'all get married, y'all have some giants y'all need to slay separately and deal with separately so that it does not destroy the marriage that y'all are about to enter into. So a lot of times we rush the process and end up jacking ourselves up.
So really quick, every woman that is looking for a man that is and when we say financially stable, I think that sometimes a man looks at that way harder than a woman does. When we say financially stable, I would think somebody that can come to the table with his portion. I think a man hears a lot of the time she wants somebody to take care of her, and that's not always the case. I think that men, and I'm gonna say this because I ain't scared. Men are way harder on themselves than us women are.
Absolutely.
And we have to be
Yes.
held accountable for the way y'all are thinking. Y'all are thinking, when I get married, I have to come into this marriage with money to be able to pay all her bills,
Perfect.
money to be able to keep her looking this way, that way. Us women are not. Now, if you find a woman, I'm going to tell you, Tweet is talking, okay? So if a woman comes in your life and she's telling you that you need to have this, that, and the other, and she don't want to be with you unless this, that, and the other, okay, that's what James was talking about. She is a money hungry female. But if she wants you to be financially stable, she means I want you to come with something so you will feel good about yourself, so that we won't have issues about the things that I'm doing. Every woman that wants a man to be financially stable does not mean that she wants him to take care of her. This is 2024. We got some women out here doing some things. And if they're not doing some things, they're on the way to doing some things. So we
Yep.
want you to come into the situation with your thing to add to our thing, and we have a big thing. It does not mean that she wants you to be able to take care of her. And men, stop being so hard on yourselves. Part of it is society. And then the other part of it is you may look at your life and say, you know what, I'm such and such years old and I don't have this, that, and the other. Level up, find a way to make it better. And guess what? She notices, she's watching. She is paying attention. She sees you making moves. She sees this is what you want to do. She sees you going towards your goals. So just do your thing. Don't come. You don't have to come into it. You know, I've seen so many men do that. They say, you know what, I want to get married, but I need to be able to have this, I need to be have that. That's you, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with her. That's all you.
And you know what, too? A lot of the times, what they don't realize is a lot of that stuff that they want to accomplish won't happen until you activate that relationship, because that is the favor that God is talking about when they say he that obtains the wife obtains, finds the wife obtains favor from the Lord. That's that favor that he's talking about. So Barack would never be Barack without Michelle. He would have gotten to a certain level, but he would have never surpassed the level where he's at now if it wasn't for Michelle. And sometimes, okay, so a lot of men like to play video games. Let's do a scenario like James. Okay, a lot of people like to play video games. There's certain levels that you can get to by yourself, and then there's other levels that you can get to when you add a second person. Some levels are meant to be tackled when you add another person to the mix, or they could be tackled quicker if you add another person to the mix. So usually when you're like, for a man, and let's just take a sidebar, we love y'all, we appreciate y'all. June is Men's Health Month, and shout out to y'all, we love y'all. But at the end of the day, like Tweet said, as long as y'all bring y'all portion to the table, that's enough. That's all we need. That's all we ask for. We just ask for y'all to do y'all part and we do ours. And then when you can't do your part, communicate, because we got you. Because when we can't do our part, we're going to communicate and hope that you got us. That's what relationship is meant for. That's why God wanted us to come together and to multiply. It ain't always about having babies. Multiply can mean other things: legacy, life, building ministry, helping people, whatever y'all create together in the earth. That's multiplication. It's not always having some big headed kids. But yeah, we have to get back to the premise of what God built the relationship for, and that's to accomplish things strategically and do it the right way.
So really quick, I'm gonna say this. Steve Harvey, he had a book called Think Like a Man. It's a really old book. I read the book. And one of the things that he said in that book is that if a man is not financially stable, he will never be able to completely focus on you. Totally true. Because he is always going to be in the I need to be better mode. And if you are in the I need to be better mode all the time when it comes to comparing yourself to another man, because men do this, they compare themselves to other men. If you're always in this I need to be better mode, you can't possibly focus on your queen because you are focused on I need to be better. So, and I think the thing is, sometimes he has to focus. Like I tell many men, get a plan, get some goals, write it down, put down your steps of how you're going to accomplish these goals and live life. Bring it to God in prayer. He knows what you're supposed to have, what he's going to give you, and what you are here for. He knows all that. So when you pray to him and let him know, you know what, Lord, I found this one. I found my queen. I found a person that I want to be with, a person that I love. Let him know what it is that you want. Manifest it to God, and he's going to put it in place if that's the goal for you, if that's the purpose for you. Otherwise, y'all need to stop stressing it. Stop stressing it. Be your best for her. She sees it. Us women, we smart. We be peeping out of everything.
I think also what we have to realize is that it's not a competition. A lot of times, as men, we feel like just because our woman is making a little more money than what we're making, that we are feeling less than a man because we're not able to provide for our household in that moment. No, providing for your household can mean so many different things. It doesn't always have to mean financially. If my woman is making more than enough money for our household, guess what? I don't have no problem being that man that's going to make sure that things are taken care of around the house to make sure that the household is running fine so that both of us can make sure that everything that we need is taken care of. Because at some point or another, somebody's got to be the one at home making sure that things are done.
I totally
No
agree
more
with that,
traditional
James.
roles here.
Mhm.
Right. Back in the days, it was one person. Back in the days, all the wives stayed at home and took care of the kids.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we can't do that today. It really takes two
Yeah.
people in a household in order to make things work. So as things are changing, we have to change the dynamic of the family. And James, you said something. The Bible says a man is supposed to provide. Nowhere in the Bible, and we got some scholars on the chat tonight. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that a man is supposed to provide financially. He is supposed to do what is needed wherever she's lacking, because we know that Eve was part of Adam's rib. Inside of that rib, you got what you got inside there, y'all. You got the liver, the kidneys. So one of them
The
pieces would have
lungs and the
slid through that
heart.
hole. That's right. If one of them pieces would have slipped through that hole, there would not have been no Adam. So that means that he wasn't going out and buying a piece of rib to put in here and using his money. He had to use what he had to keep things going, and she was the other part of that.
Facts. And I think a lot of times what we have to realize too is that providing can mean that I'm providing a safe space for you. Providing can mean I'm providing peace for you. Providing can mean that I'm providing love for you. I'm giving you what you are needing in that moment. Because let's keep it all the way real and all the way 100. For women, for a grown woman, she is not wanting your money. She's wanting your love. She's wanting your time. She's wanting your attention, and she's wanting your affection. That's it. A lot of times, though, us men have been dealing with these little girls for so long that we start treating grown women the way that little girls need have sweet the way that we should be treating little girls, and that ain't fair to you all. But because of the fact of these little girls be dressed up as grown women and making us believe that they are that, sometimes y'all have to suffer the consequences for it.
And vice versa. We do that to good men too. We kind of make y'all pay for the mistakes that y'all didn't create because we are dealing with these boys instead of grown men. So it's vice versa. Come on, James. I know you got a scenario. Let's go. What is up? What is up? What is up? You on
Oh
mute?
man. All right. One scenario for y'all tonight. First off, we thank y'all for watching us on Facebook, on YouTube. We appreciate you all. We got one more show this season, and I promise y'all, we coming hard. I promise y'all. The scenario that I got for y'all tonight, this goes for both of y'all. I'm not gonna make it specific for either one. So the scenario goes like this: your man is going through a hard time right now. He is not wanting to. He's feeling like he's less than a man because he got laid off from his job and things just aren't going right for him. It seems like every time he turns around, something is going wrong. So, how would you, as his queen, make him feel like a man in that situation? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll let you go ahead, Shiva.
Okay, cool. First off, as soon as he tells me he got laid off, I will affirm him with words. You know, that is just this is a moment that is not his life. You know, rejection in most cases and in all cases is God's protection. So if God removes something from him and or us, that means he is preparing to replenish that thing with something way better. So until then, you know, we just gotta sit down, figure out a game plan, and execute it properly. Now, if he have his license, he can still work. He can go do Uber Eats and Uber and all of that stuff. And then if I gotta pick up extra hours and he be home with the kids, whatever that looks like, we gonna get it done. Um, but at the end of the day, you know, it's important when things like that happen because y'all have this strong vibrato for the world, but then when you get home, y'all expect, well, y'all don't expect it. Well, y'all do expect it, but y'all deserve to be treated like kings because that's what y'all are. Like y'all go outside and y'all work, and some of y'all have crazy jobs that is very strenuous on you, and you do it day in and day out. So if something like that happens, that's already a shot to your manhood because provision is always in your head. I gotta provide, I gotta provide, I gotta get this money, gotta get this money, gotta get this money. So that to y'all is like us not being able to have kids or us having a situation where we don't feel woman enough, our hair is not done, something crazy. But that is a big thing for y'all. So it's very important that if something like that happens, to keep you mentally sustained, to affirm you, because if y'all don't have that support, it's a wrap. Y'all gonna start looking for it elsewhere. You're gonna go down a rabbit hole, and your mental health at that point, to me, is the most important, and then everything else we can tackle from there.
So that was super dope, Shira. For me, the first thing that I'm gonna ask, and it may not be a question I'm gonna ask to him physically, is who was he when he was able to provide? If he is, I think that a lot of times us women strongly feel like we have to support him with and be there for him. But my question is, when you were working and was everything good? Were you doing what you were supposed to do? How were you? Now, if you were a good man then, when you had something, I'm going to do that. I'm going to speak, we got this, we good, we'll be all right, we're going to make ends meet. But if he was not, then this is his opportunity to get out on his own and do his thing on his own. I'm not going to sit and support somebody or even speak supportive words to someone that was not doing what he was supposed to when he had it. I think a lot of times us women, some of us, we want to be with somebody so bad we can look at this person and realize that this ain't working. I don't need to be with this person. They wasn't treating me right when they had it. So when things go wrong, I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, well, you know what, baby, it's gonna be all right, and we're gonna work things out, and everything's gonna be better, and I'm gonna ride with you." No, because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do by me. You didn't care about my feelings and what you were supposed to be doing by me when you had it. So,
So my question to you, James, in regards to your scenario, what how would you expect the scenario to go if you were the one to come home and say, baby, I got laid off from my job? What do you need in that moment? How do you expect your woman to respond to you?
The way I expect my woman to respond to me is, baby, you was better than that job. You didn't need that job. You was a king before you had that job. You are a king now, and I'm rocking with you. With God on our side, we are going to succeed, and you're not failing. So that's how I expect my woman to respond at that point.
So Danny wants to know, hold on. With this scenario, is there a time frame that we are expecting him to get back on his feet?
Um, mm, no, there's no time frame. No time frame that been said. He's just down right now.
And then
And that's
to that,
something
one
that
thing that I
people
would
have
ask
to
is
go ahead, Dawn.
one thing that I would want to know is how often are we down? Are we down? You know, because some people will be with you, and if they know that you're gonna ride with them through their mess, you know, if I'm down right now, she got me. You know, if I'm doing this and doing that, she got me. And I think sometimes as women, we gotta smarten up and realize if he's having too many downtimes, how's he gonna respond to me when I have my few downtimes? Because sometimes it's not the same. It's not the same, especially when you are. Sometimes when you walk into a relationship and you are a strong woman, he expects you to be that strong woman to where you playing the mama role. I am the mom. You know, this is the person that I'm gonna go to when things go wrong or she got me. No, and you know, as women, you gotta test that and see sometimes if how is he gonna feel. You know, and I'm talking about in a relationship. See how he's gonna respond to you when you have those downtimes. That's when I would actually test them out.
Okay. So since we have so many people in the comments, if y'all have a question or anything, this is the last live for us three. Next week is our season finale, but this is the last live for us three. If you guys have any questions or anything like that before we wrap it up, y'all can put it in the chat now. And let's see if I missed any comments. Mm.
I'm not seeing any that's missed.
No, I
This
did.
one right
I think I
here.
got all of them.
Yes, I love you so. We love you too.
But
We love you too. We love y'all too. Y'all are not fans of the show. Y'all are family members of this show. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And we promise y'all we will come back next season a lot stronger. We just beginning and it's about to get hotter from here. It's only up from here. So make sure y'all tune in next week for a season finale as we have a conversation with the fellas and my sisters up in the building. So y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. Y'all already know how we coming. And we love y'all. And we
coming for
will see y'all
Corey.
next week. Yes, yes, yes. We'll see y'all next week.